Okay, how do you make a chicken fried steak dinner with fried potatoes and onions? This is real easy. You're going to need 2 skillets, some vegetable oil, 3 peeled potatoes, 1 purple onion whole, some all-purpose white flour, salt, pepper. Did I say vegetable oil? You'll need that too. A couple eggs and some milk. Now what you do is you take a frying pan, put it about 1/4 inch of vegetable oil in the bottom of it. Set it on about 3/4 of the way on the heat. If your oil starts smoking, you got it way too hot. Make sure you got it hot enough. I take just a couple drops of water on the end of my fingers and flick them in the pan with the oil. If it spatters, it's hot enough. When you take your potatoes, half your potatoes long ways, and then half them again so you quarter them. And then cut them up into chunks about the size of your thumb. Now do the same thing to the onion. Cut it the same way. Mix that in. Mix the potatoes and the onions together in a big mixing bowl. Take a cup of all-purpose flour, pour over the top of them about a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of pepper and just a pinch of salt. Now turn those potatoes and onions so they get a little coating of flour in them. Then strain the potatoes and onions out of the flour and drop them into the hot pan of vegetable oil. And let them fry up. Put a lid on top of it so that they get cooked all the way through. It's going to take about 20 minutes to cook your potatoes and onions. If they get a little blackened, that's really good. You know, fry them in that pan for, I don't know, about every 5 minutes, turn them. And like I said, cook them about 20-25 minutes, they should be done. Okay, now how you do the chicken fried steak. You either need 2 8-ounce cube steaks or 2 8-ounce sirloins. Now if you're using the sirloin, you need to have a tenderizing hammer so you can just beat the snot out of them, kind of flatten them out like a tenderloin. In other words, you should just beat them out with that hammer till almost to the point where they're about to fall apart. Or you can just use 2 8-ounce tenderloins. Makes life real easy. Take 2 eggs, break them into a bowl, like a mixing bowl. Take about 2 teaspoons of milk, put in there with the eggs. Take a whisk, whip the eggs like you're going to make whipped eggs. Now in your big mixing bowl, put 2 cups of white all-purpose flour. Put 2 teaspoons of black pepper, a couple pinches of salt just to taste. Take your tenderloin, your steak, dip it and coat it in the egg and milk. Now show it to the flour in the mixing bowl. Get it coated, flop it on both sides, pat it a little bit with flour on top. Make sure you get a good coating of it. Then dip it in the egg and milk again, and then turn it in the flour one more time. That's a double dip. That's the way I like it. Now that you've got both of your chicken fried steaks ready to go to the grease, you set the pan up just like you did for the potatoes and onions. About a 1/4 inch vegetable oil in it. Set up about 3/4 of the way on high, just like you did for the potatoes and onions. If it's smoking, it's too hot. Put a couple drops of water in it. It doesn't spatter. It's not hot enough. Now you lay those 2 chicken fried steaks in that skillet in that hot oil. And you let it cook until the blood starts to come out of the top. When the blood starts coming out of the top, it's ready to turn it. 'em. 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 ' till they're done. Now take the chicken fried steaks, lay them both out on a plate. Now the pan that you cook the chicken fried steak in is going to have some crumblings off of the steaks, and oil's going to be a little dirty. Pour the excess oil off of that pan to keep all the crumblings in it. And when I say excess oil, you want to leave just a little bit of oil in that skillet. You know, about a tablespoon or maybe 2 tablespoons of oil with the crumblings left in that skillet. Now take you a large glass, like about a 24-ounce glass, or Tupperware glass or whatever. Fill it up 3/4 of the way with milk. Take 2 heaping tablespoons. I mean, as much flour as you can get to stand on a tablespoon. 2 of those. Drop those into the glass of milk. Now the glass of milk, like I said, if it's a 24-ounce glass of milk, you only want that about 3/4 of the way through full. So what would that be? 18 ounces of milk or whatever. Anyway, you take those 2 heaping teaspoons, put it in the milk, in the glass, and stir it all up till it's well stirred. In other words, it doesn't have any chunks left in it. What you're doing is you're pre-mixing it before you put it in the pan so that your gravy doesn't get lumpy. Now that you got that fully mixed up in the glass, I actually use a curd jar if you just want to know. Then pour that in that hot skillet with those leftover crumblings and a little bit of oil. Same thing, about 3/4 of the way of the setting on the stove. And you take a spatula and just kind of glide it across the bottom to keep anything from sticking to the bottom. You know, just stir it occasionally. And when it begins to bubble, it'll have big bubbles all over it. That means it's done. Turn the heat off on the gravy. Now take your potatoes and onions, strain them out of that skillet with that oil. They should be brown or almost blackened. And lay them on the plate next to the chicken fried steak. And now pour that white gravy out of that skillet over the chicken fried steak and the potatoes and onions. Voila, chicken fried steak dinner. Now, if you want to know the way I like it, I take a little pure honey and now drizzle over the chicken fried steak. And then I take just a little ketchup and drizzle over the chicken fried steak and gravy as well. That's the way I prefer it. Most people skip the honey, just letting you know. But I like the honey on it. Anyway, that is the way that I make a chicken fried steak dinner. Enjoy. Bon appetit. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.